Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Maine Pageant place. Today, we have the honor of sitting down with Lisa Bird.
Hi.
Lisa, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're so excited to learn a little bit more about you. So, why don't we just jump right in? Let's talk a little bit about the early life of Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I grew up in Farmington and I was raised in a family of service. We spent our whole life really volunteering for Special Olympics was a big cause for our family. And I, at a young age, started competing in pageants as a teenager. And then won the 1984, this is going to age me, but I was the 1984 Maine Miss Teen. And I did actually really well. We had our national pageant out in New Mexico, out in Albuquerque. Went out there, made it to the top 10, came in 7th, which, still good for me. And I was pretty excited. So, and then after that, I was like, oh, I'm good. I made it to nationals. I was happy. I don't need to do this again. And now here we are.
It seems like kind of an industry that pulls us back at kind of every demographic of life, and there's so much to be offered through pageantry. What's been one of the most important things that you've discovered about yourself throughout your journey?
I think I think you hit on two things here. The first thing is that pageantry has changed. When I was doing it as a teenager, I was excited about the dresses and the makeup and the hair. And I was still, I was focused on volunteer work then, but now pageantry is so different. And so I think through pageantry now, I've really learned about self-confidence, that even at my age, that you can still get out there and open doors with this crown, that you can open doors to opportunities that maybe you didn't know that you had. I think that it is giving me an opportunity to maybe stop living a little vicariously through my kids for a while and really kind of focusing more on me, which I think I had stopped doing for a little bit. So it's been amazing and it's been very eye-opening, but it's been a lot of fun.
So, tell us a little bit about this sash and crown you have on now. What titles do you currently
Yeah.
have to your name?
So I'm the 2025 Mrs. Maine Sweetheart. This is part of the Maine Academic Scholarship Pageant. And they are part of the Crossroads Crown Cares program, which their platform is on anti-bullying. Crown Cares is all about creating a respectful environment and society. And they actually train their title holders and volunteers to go out and speak about anti-bullying at schools, at events, at nonprofits, organizations. They provide resources, scholarships, things like that. And so through the Crossroads Crown Cares, they also have the pageant system, the Maine Academic Scholarship Pageant. And the pageant system is an opportunity to raise funds and awareness for the work that they're doing. So this is who I'm currently representing, that is MASP, and I'm extremely proud to be part of it. They stand for everything that I believe in.
Mm. So, tell me, what does nationals preparation look like for you, Lisa?
Nationals preparation has been quite a journey. I always see a lot of the younger contestants like Road to Nationals. And I think that my journey as a woman in my age group is probably looking a little bit different than theirs. But it has been a lot of focus on volunteer service. I've spent my whole life as a volunteer. I've spent my whole life really trying to be actively involved in my community. But I have really tried to step it up a notch. I have tried to spend all of my free time. My husband, if you asked him and you asked my children, I think that they would definitely tell you that I've really been focusing a lot of time on just trying to raise awareness about the causes that I'm passionate about. And so that's been a big focus. Wardrobe, girls, oh my Lord. I had no idea. I had no idea how much was actually going to go into preparing for nationals. You need a different. listen, I'm just telling all of you right now, honestly, you need a different outfit every single day that you're there. It's not just about your outfits for the competition. You need outfits for check-in. You need outfits for every celebration and every party, but it's all things that I'm really excited about. I have been preparing I have a coach, which has been kind of cool to work with her on things like, getting ready for interview and walking. I thought I was walking, but who knew? We've been spending a lot of focus on that. So it's been a lot of work. I think that people who are not in this community probably have no idea how much effort actually goes into trying to get there.
So part of that preparation, there's so many pieces. Are you working on interview at all? Is it just like, what is the biggest component to this pageant that they really look for? And what's the largest scoring component?
So the largest scoring component is going to be interview. And I think that that's fabulous because, as we were saying earlier, pageants have changed and the focus has changed. And it's really about who the girl is or who the woman is. They're really focused on character, integrity, confidence, leadership. And I think that that's going to show a lot through the interview process. So that's going to be the biggest score. There is evening gown, there's like fun fashion or American fashion, but we're also doing optionals. I'm going to be singing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I actually do sing in a Christian band called Fulcrum. So I'm feeling pretty confident about participating in that. And yeah, so I mean, there are quite a few elements to it, but I'm getting ready for all of them, and I'm feeling good about all of them.
So how do you lead authentically in a world that kind of appreciates conformity?
I think that that's a great question, and I think that that goes back to what I was saying about what pageantry is like today. I think the whole focus has changed, and I think because the focus has changed, pageant contestants now are able to live a more authentic life, and they're able to compete more authentically. Girls and women now can actually look for pageant systems that actually have tenets that they believe in. Like the one that I'm in. It stands for anti-bullying. It stands for character. It stands for integrity. It's about community service. Those are things I believe in. Other girls and women who they can be their authentic selves by finding a pageant system that has the qualities that they're looking for, the things that they're passionate about. And so I think honestly, the pageant systems that are out there now are actually making it easier for girls than maybe it was. I don't want to say like back in my day, but but I do. I think that it is actually a little bit easier to really be yourself now, to be your own unique self. And I think, that's so important. And, it's a message that I want to give to young people all the time is to just be your true self, be who you really are. And it excites me to know that there are pageant systems out there that allow that now.
Mm.
I mean, look at me. I am not your stereotypical pageant contestant. I'm not your stereotypical pageant winner, but I'm here. And I competed and I didn't get my crown in the mail. There were actual other contestants and I actually competed against them and I actually won. And I know that I deserved it. And I feel confident about that. And I'm not 20 and I'm not tall and I'm not thin and I'm not blonde. I'm much, much older and I'm not what people think of when they think of pageants. But I'm doing it and there are other women like me doing it. And I think for me personally, that excites me that I can be my authentic self and that I can be out there on the stage showing them who I really am and that it's okay and that I can still do really well.
Absolutely. And I think you're such an important story to highlight because I think so many of us feel that we don't belong in certain realms. And as we age, we feel like opportunities maybe lessen when that's just not the truth. We just have to find those unique ways to propel ourselves forward and to be highlighted.
Absolutely. And listening to you say that like actually makes me want to cry because it breaks my heart when I think that there are people out there who feel that way. And I know that just a few years ago, I was feeling that way. when someone called and said, "Hey, will you come do this local pageant?" And I thought, absolutely not. I'm not a pageant person anymore. And as I started to look into what pageants are standing for now, I realized, you know what, I am. I actually am. And so now I'm excited to say, all of you, look, like, yes, you can be in a pageant. You actually do qualify. You actually are worth it. And you actually can do well. You are gorgeous. You are brave. You're strong. You're beautiful. You are so much better and more amazing than you think you are. And so get out there and take these opportunities, because they're out there for all of us, for all ages. And if you are my age and you didn't have a chance to be a princess when you were little, you still have a chance to be a queen now.
Absolutely. And you're such a great beacon for help breaking those stigmas of what people might have associated to what they think they know. But I can attest to it. You don't know what pageantry is until you enroll and you do a pageant.
Yep.
So if you had to give advice to any new girly that was on the fence about joining a pageant, what would that advice be, Lisa?
I think that my advice would be first to research the pageants. Obviously I would like to be like Maine Academic Scholarship Pageant because I love it. It's the tenets that I believe in. But if we're talking about being your true, authentic self, then you need to find the one that fits what you believe in, what you stand for, what you're passionate about. Because if you go into a pageant system that you feel excited and passionate about, then you are going to walk that stage so confidently. You are going to feel so proud to be there, to be representing your town, your community. And then if you do well, you're going to be so proud to represent your state.
So I was looking at your resume and I saw that in the last couple of months you've been awarded some great accolades and awards. Is there one that means more than not to you?
Yes. Actually, I was recently selected as one of Maine's 20 outstanding women for my community service. And I do always have to say there are more than 20 women in the state of Maine. No, but it really meant a lot to me because I think, my whole life I've been a volunteer, but I've never really put it out there that I was a volunteer. And even after winning the state title, they created social media pages for us. And they were like, you need to start talking about all your volunteer service. And I was like, I don't know. I've never done that before. But it's actually been amazing to be able to go on there and share some of the programs or the nonprofits that I work for or volunteer for that people have never heard of. I mean, I volunteer for some things that are pretty unknown. I don't always volunteer for the balloons and the puppies and the unicorns. I volunteer for some hard things, and so being recognized with 19 other incredible women, it was pretty amazing. I was very humbled and honored.
A well-deserved honor. So I don't know if most people know this, but pageantry does cost a certain amount of money, and it is a lot typically. So there's ways that people can help sponsor you. Is there a page or a way that they can help make sure you have a phenomenal time at nationals and hopefully continue to add to those accolades?
Yes, absolutely. It's hard to ask people for sponsorship when you've spent so many years asking people for sponsorship for the causes you believe in. And so then to ask them to sponsor you, it's hard. But I'm 2025 Mrs. Maine Sweetheart on Facebook and on Instagram. There are places there that people, if they did want to sponsor me, they could. I'm trying not to lose my house by going to nationals. So, we could get a tent, but I'd like to not do that. That obviously would be greatly appreciated. It is shocking how much it costs.
It is. This is hard work. People don't realize the perseveration it takes in every avenue for us to achieve even entering and getting on that stage. So
absolutely.
We'll make sure that we keep the Maine Pageant Place community posted to your nationals and how that goes.
Thank you.
Is there any social media you'd like to share that they can help follow you at as well?
I would.
Or is it the same as...
I would honestly, please follow me on Instagram. I am old and No, seriously, like like all the younger people, all the younger contestants are like, I have 5,000 followers. And I'm like, yay, I have 170 something. So you could totally follow me on there, and that would be amazing. 2025 Mrs. Maine Sweetheart, MASP USA Ambassador. If you just Google Lisa Bird, BIRD, like Tweety, I mean, you will find me. But I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. And absolutely, I would love to talk to you there. You know, if you have volunteer opportunities, I'm always looking for those. I would love to come talk to your group, your cause, whatever.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for coming out and being a part of the Maine Pageant Place.
Well, thank you. I'm excited for what you're doing. This is fantastic. Thanks for doing it.